every Saturday for the Saturday Block Party. We start at 4 o'clock when I open up the ON Music Vault for you to pick whatever you want to hear or send to somebody special. Yes, the good old radio request days are back. Join me for the Saturday Block Party, Saturdays from 4 until 7 on ON Radio and streaming online at woodsocketradio.com.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street in Woonsocket. This is ON AM and FM.
WOON Woonsocket.
This ON
And currently
1240
outside the
forecast brought to you
Navigant
by
Credit Union
Murphy's
broadcast
Gas on
studio at
Social
the corner of
Street in
Park Avenue
Woonsocket.
and
Who
Kennedy
reminds you
Street.
that
We
more
have
germs are passed
75.6
at self-service
cloudy,
pumps than
drizzly
almost anywhere
degrees.
else. Murphy's
Welcome.
Gas on
Good
Social
morning.
Street
Welcome to
provides
Kevin's Sports
personal
Show. I'm
service
joined once again
at
by
or
Pat
below
Holland.
self-serve
Patrick, thank
prices
you again
while
for joining
you
us
remain
this
in the
week.
comfort of your
Thanks for having me,
vehicle.
Kevin.
And unlike
Great.
other
Hopefully this
stations,
turns
it's the
into
same
a regular
price,
thing
cash
that
or
our
credit.
summer
A
schedules
smarter,
are kinda
safer
all
way to
over the
buy
place,
gas.
but I think,
Murphy's
this
Gas,
is gonna go
1023
really well,
Social Street,
in the
Woonsocket.
future.
Cloudy skies today with a high of 81 degrees, a breeze from the south, and a 40% chance of a shower or
Happy
thunderstorm.
Independence Day
Tonight,
weekend.
cloudy
to
skies,
everybody,
overnight low of
and,
71,
Pat's been a big
and a breeze
week
from the
in sports.
south.
Bruins
Up to a
making
half
noise
inch
with
of
some
rain
free
is
agent
possible
signings.
overnight.
Celtics making bigger news
Sunday's
with their
weather
signings.
partly sunny, high of
Then placing the
89.
team up for
Monday,
sale.
sunshine and
And then
92.
how about them
Tuesday,
Boston Red
patchy
Sox
fog in the early
sweeping
morning, otherwise
the Miami
a sunny
Marlins.
day with a
Then
high
take a little side
around
trip up to
90
let's see,
degrees
where they last-
Tuesday.
Oh yeah, Yankee
On
Stadium.
Wednesday, partly sunny.
Last
and
night's
86.
game and any
Thursday,
thoughts on last
partly
night's
sunny
dramatic
and 83, and next
5-3
Friday,
victory over the
partly
Bronx
sunny
Bombers?
skies, high of
It
83.
just seems like it's their brand of baseball, right? Make it interesting, never out of a game. Just kept me in the whole game, which is the first I think this season for me.
For regular season baseball. We're going to have much more on the Red Sox and everything else, but we have from the New England Collegiate Baseball League, Mike Falcone joining us. And if you don't know what the New England Collegiate Baseball League is, you are about to find out. Let's see if we can bring Mike in right now. Good morning. Is this Mike? Very good, Mike. How about yourself? This is Kevin Callahan, and please say hi to Pat Holland as well, who joins me here.
Kevin and Pat, how are you guys today?
Doing very well, thank you. And Pat, how are you? He asked you as well.
Good, Mike. How are you?
So,
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today on the sports show. Mike, you got the New England Collegiate Baseball League and the Newport Gulls playing down at Cardines Field. What is your role, Mike?
Yeah, so I'm the director of baseball operations for the organization.
Excellent. And how long have you been doing that, Mike?
Eighth season, eight or 9 years. So 2016, I started as an intern, and still with them.
Excellent. Long time. I don't know if you saw my well, you might know my nephew, Ryan Jeunesse, who did an internship down there probably about 10, 12 years ago himself. I don't know if you remember him at all.
Yeah. Then you said, your son was in the Newport League that I did?
Yeah, I think he started off in ticket sales. I know he was the Gull a couple of times, too.
We've all been there. We've all done it.
I bet. Absolutely. So, Mike, for people that don't know, what is the NECBL and why though there's a lot of people going to the games, why should we be going to the Gulls games down in Newport?
Yeah, absolutely. So NECBL stands for New England Collegiate Baseball League. Best college baseball players in the country. If you're familiar or you know what the Cape Cod League is, or if you've seen the movie Summer Catch, exactly the same as that league in terms of structure. All the best student athletes in the country, like tons of D1 guys come play with us after their college season and either go back to school, a lot end up getting drafted, then you get a lot of folks who end up going pro and reaching major leagues a couple years down the line after going with us. So the reason to come see us is, you're going to see a great brand of baseball, very family-friendly, fun entertainment, and at an affordable cost for everybody to go enjoy a night out in Newport and see some really good aspiring athletes.
Yeah, no, it's a great band of baseball. been to several Gulls games in the past. Most people, Mike, have heard of the Cape Cod League and how famous they are. First wood bat summer league in the country, and all the major leagues they produce. How would you say the NECBL compares to the Cape Cod League?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really, and by the numbers, they read a study a couple of years ago. I mean, by the numbers, it's 1 and 2 in the country in terms of draft picks and in terms of pro ball players. You got a couple leagues out west. You have the Northwoods League, and you got one down south, the Coastal Plains, which are probably right there with us. Depending on who you talk to, it's probably a mix of 2, 3, 4 right there. But basically, we're right underneath that. We're competing with the Cape Cod League for players. Where at the end of the year, we'll sign a bunch of guys who have played in the Cape Cod League. We'll send guys to the Cape Cod League, so it's very, very similar in terms of quality baseball player. That I got to tip my cap to them. Of course, they do have some more ready or major league ready ball players on their rosters that summer. But really, how I compare it is we'll have a lot of the young guys at the Power 5 conferences. We'll get a lot of the freshmen from Vanderbilt, freshmen from Louisville, UCLA, or what have you. They'll go back to school, and then they'll play in the Cape the next year. So that's kind of a transition, and then they go back to school and eventually get drafted. So that's kind of the flow, is any CBL, Cape Cod League, then end up with an affiliated team.
And would you say, as like a competing league, would you say the Futures League, which is also a collegiate league based in New England, is that a competitor, or are they like, do they compare to you like you compare to the Cape?
Different business model for the Futures League. They all of the leagues in the New England Collegiate Baseball League are nonprofit. It's how our structure is set up. So it's just a little bit different type of baseball and type of entertainment. We in Gardines and most of the teams in the league don't sell beer at our games. We try to keep that family-friendly atmosphere. Not to say that the Futures does not, but it's just a little bit different financial structure, how the teams are set up. And the rosters, you'll get a little bit more of the New England flair with the Futures League, a little bit more local players. Again, not to say that they're getting folks from around the country, but it's a little bit different setup, and we're not usually competing too much for their guys, for our roster.
Oh, okay. No. Thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate that. Now, in regards to Cardines Field and the Gulls, doing some quick research, and through 9 home dates, you guys are averaging 2,900 fans per game. If I'm not mistaken, Cardines Field only seats 3,000. Isn't that accurate?
Yeah, it's been pretty special. And I think really, telling indication was that opening day when we were jammed out, which opening day you never really know. Kids are still in school, weather's not so great. The marketing, we try to get as much information out there as possible, but you don't really know. There's no RSVP for hey, who's coming to the game. So that first game was a near sellout. We followed up with that that Friday again, just blew the doors off, and then last night again is another big seller, and July 4th for that matter too. July 4th the weather was great, but again it's a holiday. People are in town, maybe doing cookouts, going to the beach, and what have you. But again, close to a sellout. And then last night where it was overcast, all day, and our tickets are very affordable: $5 for adults, $2 senior military teens, $1 for kids. So, you're not really planning your night so much around the game where, oh, hey, we need to go to the game if we have tickets, or hey, we need to really make a financial investment. So, for the day to be overcast the whole day and still get about 2,900 in the ballpark last night was really special to see, and it's been very exciting for the players, exciting for the team to have everybody come out and support.
Oh, that's great. On the attendance and everything. Pat, do you have a question for Mike?
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry. Real quick, you were joined here by Mike Falcone, Director of Baseball Operations for the Newport Gulls of the New England Collegiate Baseball League. If you have a question for Mike, feel free to call in 401-766-1240, 766-1240. Go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
Yeah, so, outside of the baseball, Mike, I think I personally haven't been there. I know my son's gone to a couple games with my nieces who live down in Middletown. So would you say that it is heavily geared towards the family and kid environment? I know most minor league teams these days are trying to gear it towards, like, in between the innings. There's a lot going on. Is that something you guys put a point of emphasis on?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely real looking to get as many families, as many kids involved as possible. Those between inning competitions are always a blast, always a way to get our fans engaged and also the kids getting engaged, between race the bases and donating contests and our famous gully race where the kids get to run out on the field. So that's absolutely the focus for the organization. And, it really starts with the pregame ceremony, starts with our sponsors. Every night has a theme to it. So whether that's military appreciation, whether that's Little League night, whether it's, this upcoming Wednesday we're doing Rhode Island traffic safety where we'll have MAD down there. And we always have a nonprofit group that we're raising money for. We do 50-50 raffles. So we do a lot of stuff to engage the community. And I think that helps with the fans, too. I think that maybe you get exposed through whatever we're doing, whatever the team is that night or early that season. You come back and, enjoy from there.
Now, Mike, Cardines Field, built before Fenway Park. How much of a draw do you think the field is in itself? Like, a lot of people, tour the country and want to stop by Fenway Park. How much do you think the draw is Cardines Field, or is that just one piece of it and it's all the pieces connected that bring in the crowds?
Yeah. No, I think it's all the pieces connected for sure. I think that's a good way to put it, but it is one of the pieces. And if you're a baseball junkie, if you're a baseball fan, maybe when you're looking up Newport, Rhode Island, or you're taking a trip to the Northeast, that's probably going to be on your list, at least to come take a peek at. And then also, once you get to Newport, we're located right in the heart of town. We're located right when you get into the city. So if you're walking around town, going shopping, going to the restaurants, or whatever, doing a little stroll, you're going to come upon the stadium and say, what is this? Wow, this is unique. Wow, and I'm there, in the morning, getting the field ready and throughout the day, and I can't tell you how many people pop their head in, hey, can we take a look? Hey, oh, wow, this is so unique. The dugouts are both on the same side. Oh, wow, the jutting outfield fences are really unique, just like a Fenway or an Ebbets Field was. So it is a big piece of it for sure. I think location definitely helps. You don't have to go far to see and view the facade and the uniqueness that is the field. So no, it's definitely a big draw, and really for the players too, not only for our team but throughout the league.
I mean, I'll go ahead, Pat.
Mike, a quick question back to just the roster in general. Mm-hmm. How much flexibility do you guys have during the season in terms of moving players? Are you actively looking for players still, or is it just as a need comes up, you're filling for injury reasons or whatnot?
Yeah, no, you're really looking. You're pretty locked in once the season starts. You're hoping that those are your guys throughout the summer, and something that I handle a little bit more of those between innings and the marketing and operational side of things. Our GM and our VP, Chuck Dave, Chris Patos, they handle more so of the players. But they're always looking to build a roster that is here from June 1 through the end of the season. So it's really on a situational need that they would add some guys if the situation arises. So definitely pitching's a hot commodity in baseball, let alone summer baseball. So that's one of the things that I know those guys are always looking to add potentially if we need some innings. I mean, we have 3 doubleheaders coming up in the next 10 days. Oh, there's going to be a lot of innings that need to be eaten up. That's for sure.
So just like in any level of baseball, pitching is the key, and you can never have enough pitching, right?
Exactly. But we're never going to cut a guy. They're never going to release a guy. If he's hitting $120. The guys we committed to in the fall or in the preseason are guys that they stick with and want to ride out together because it's instructional. It's a developmental league at the end of the day. Of course, we want to win championships, and we've been successful doing so. But the point is to send players back better than we got them, and you're not going to do that if you're trying to just play the free agent wire and see if there's the next flashy young thing out there.
Excellent. And Mike, we're up against our first commercial break. Are you willing to stick around for another segment with us?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, great. You're listening to Mike Falcone here on Kevin's Sports Show on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and OneSocketRadio.com. We will be back right after this message from our sponsors.
ON 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models, as well as used cars, trucks, and SUVs, can be found at Tasca Buick GMC in Woonsocket. The Buick Encore GX is a sporty SUV that strikes a distinctively athletic tone. The Envision has a suite of 6 advanced safety and driver assistance technologies that come standard. The GMC Sierra 1500, Acadia, and Terrain trucks are on the lot now at Tasca Buick GMC. Visit TascaBuickGMC.com to see their entire inventory of new and used cars. Tasca Buick GMC, Fortin Drive, Woonsocket is open 7 days a week.
To avoid long waiting periods in hospital emergency rooms, your option is North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care, where you'll be seen by a board-certified physician in a comfortable and restful setting. Most importantly, you'll have a diagnosis and information about your medical discomfort. In other words, peace of mind. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, and Lincoln Urgent Care, across from the Lincoln Mall. You do have a choice.
The last thing you need is more stress. So at Micho's Auto Body, they handle the complete claim for you. Check their website to see the 13 actual steps they take to make your experience stress-free. You'll also see a complete photo gallery showing you the detailed and technical process necessary to accommodate new car construction and metallic paints. Micho's Auto Body, 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket, 769-1983.
Tabitha Rose Photography is the photographer for an amazing experience. Hey, if it's time for your youth leagues, high school, or college team pictures, go to the website trosephoto.com, where you can book a private, semi-private, or whole team media day experience at Tabitha Rose Photography. In addition to the media experience for your player, Tabitha also specializes in lifestyle, studio, seniors, engagements, and boudoir sessions. trosephoto.com is the web destination for you, and please be sure to click on the Media Experience tab and be wowed by Tabitha Rose Photography.
ON Radio.
And welcome back to Kevin's Sports Show. I'm here with Pat Holland, and we are joined by Mike Falcone of the Newport Gulls Baseball Club. Mike, welcome back. Thank you for joining us here in the second segment of our show.
Hey, appreciate you guys having me on.
So, Mike, I think it was last year, but correct me if I'm wrong, that you started broadcasting your games on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, the NCBL started a flagship partnership with ESPN Plus last year, and now all of that included a few games for the Gulls on there. And now all of our home games are streamed on ESPN Plus. It's a great opportunity for us.
Wow, that's great. It's another opportunity for young and up and coming broadcasters as well to cut their teeth in the broadcasting game, as well as just a chance to expose your league to not just the 3,000 people that can show up, but to anybody that's just a big baseball fan. That's what a great get for you in the NECBL.
Yeah, it's been really funny to get the texts or the calls. Just randomly during a game or the next morning, oh, hey, look what I stumbled upon, friends out in the West Coast, or I'm from New York originally, so a lot of my friends down there and family members who are clicking through the channels, it's clicking through ESPN and see the Gulls on there and getting texts like that, pretty fun.
No, that's great. So, Mike, we are a Woonsocket-based radio station, and, for the smallest state in the Union. However, Woonsocket to Newport, packed the overnight bags and everything. But last year, I went to a day-and-night doubleheader. I was fortunate enough that my son was playing for the Schooners last year against you guys, and cousin and myself, we took the Providence and Newport ferry Are you aware of the ferry from Providence to Newport? Have you guys promoted it at all?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, we play the student down in Groton today. We go down there. I know I'm familiar. I know that it's in existence, of course, but as a New Yorker, and as you said with the Rhode Island thing, I haven't taken that Providence to Newport Ferry before, and haven't done much of a partnership with those guys over there. But I'm sure it's a great way to get down and pack that overnight bag.
No, I found it to be a great option. The free parking in Providence. The ferry runs, several times a day. We're able to spend downtown Newport, go to the game. And the nice thing about it is the last ferry leaves at 9:20. Your game times are at what, 6:30, 6:35?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. First pitch, 6:35. Yep.
And the ferry drops you off. So for Northern Rhode Islanders, if you don't want to make the way all the way to Newport, you can stop off halfway in Providence and check out the Gulls games. So what are the ticket prices at Cardines?
So $5 for adults, $2 senior, military, and teens, and then children under 12 is $1.
Yeah, you're not going to do much better than that. You have concession stands as well. You have the promotional giveaways. Now there's something else that I noticed on your site. You have what's it called, the dugout down the right field line. It used to be a restaurant. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but I've eaten at that restaurant. But now the Gulls own that, and it's kind of like a hospitality suite or a party suite.
Yeah. So it's called the Clubhouse, and used to be called Mudville Pub.
That's
down
what.
the right field line, and the Gulls don't own it. Another local family here owns the whole building, in which they have a few rental properties. Up top, the 3-story building, 2 stories worth of rentals for the second and third floor, and then down low they have this what used to be that restaurant, like you said, and you can now it's a hospitality event space, and they allow the Gulls to rent it out to some of our sponsors and have some of our folks in it on for some of our games there, which is awesome and a great opportunity for some of the sponsors. And this week we had a lot of our players' families from all around the country. They were in town, so we hosted them in there too. So yeah, it's a great vantage point, really unique, another unique aspect of the ballpark.
That's a great opportunity again for the host families, of which you need host families for probably 95% of the players, as you mentioned earlier. They're not all local players. Yep. So Mike, we talked about the players earlier. Now the coach of your team, who's the manager of your team, and where else do your managers and manager and coaches coach?
So currently, Mike Coombs, who's in our Hall of Fame, is the NECBL's most winningest and most successful manager. He is back with us this year. He's joined by one of his assistants that was with us for a championship in a number of years, Kevin Long. Both those guys are from Florida. Coombs has coached throughout college baseball and professionally, Brewers. He coached at Florida Southern College, and then Kevin Long's pitching coach, coached Miami-Dade. Ted Regan, who's currently at Eckerd College down in Florida as well. All three of those guys have such a wealth of knowledge. One of our former players, he actually won the championship with us last year, and is a record setter himself up in Northeastern. Luke Setstein, he's with us, coach, and then Jake Williamson from Navy is with us as well, and he helps coach the Rogers High School to a state championship. So two guys just kind of starting their coaching career. 3 guys who have been doing it for 20, 30, maybe 40 years, some of them, on the coaching staff, and those guys are a great mix for all the players. But Coombs got the nod and wanted to come back because Frank Holbrook, who was at Rhode Island College, I remember he got the assistant job at Northeastern, so he was unable to coach our team moving forward because of the league bylaws and Division I and NCAA regulations.
Frank, I remember when you ran the Newport Collegiate Summer League in the COVID summer of 2020. Frank, my oldest son, got to play on one of the 4 teams that you were running on the blue team, and I can't remember if Frank coached the blue team or if he coached against the blue team.
He was coaching the white team. George Capon, who's over at Georgetown, was coaching the blue team.
Okay, yeah, that was on a personal note, thank you for running that league. It gave my oldest a great chance to play that summer when, as you know, how everything was shutting down. There must have been a lot of hard work putting that together that summer to get the players, get the coaches with all the restrictions.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Yeah, definitely a lot of paperwork, a lot of Zoom calls, but no, we got it done, and it was totally a blast.
Yeah, no, that was great. So currently, the Newport Gulls, you guys sit in first place with a 14-9 record. Checking the Schooners, who you're playing, I think today, are in second place, 14-11. You guys, how many teams make the playoffs?
It's gonna be 4 teams, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. No, six teams. 6 teams in the playoffs, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. Get to hopefully do a championship run again.
Great. No, it's and you guys are the defending champions, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. You're not mistaken.
and 7-time champion, right? Overall, the NECBL.
Yep.
It's all up there on the website, Mike. But here's a question about the whole league. Now, you guys are doing great with the attendance, averaging, I look back at the attendance going back to 2010. Every year you guys have gotten over 2,000 a game. I think there was one year where you got like 1,900. But every year it's been over 2,000 a game. This year you're averaging almost a sellout. But other teams in the league, I mean, the Martha's Vineyard also does extremely well. But some teams are averaging in the 200s, 300s. How do you work with the other teams, or how do the teams work together, or is everyone completely independent, to try to maybe raise attendance throughout the league?
Yeah, no, it's we certainly work together. I mean, we're on board meetings more frequently, as you can imagine, in the off season.
Sure.
We all work together very much so throughout the year. We want the league to do well as a whole. We're always sharing best practices and what we do. But at the end of the day, that model that I talked about kind of earlier is we're all nonprofit. The goal is to make the players better, to give them an opportunity, to give the community an opportunity to have this ball team. And whether that's 200, 250 people at the game or 3,000 at the game, everybody's doing their very best to engage and give the players the best possible experience here in New England, because a lot of these guys are not from New England. So even if they're going to, Montpelier, Vermont, North Adams, Massachusetts, wherever, they're really putting their best foot forward. The organization is, and very much so. It's also these organizations, including the Gulls, are driven by volunteers, driven by interns. So it is a different model, and we all want to work together and try to get as many fans in the seats to see this great product.
No, and there are 13 teams in the league. The NECBL been around now for at least 25 years. I think closer to 30 years now as a league.
30th year.
Yeah, so it's so you guys have really put your stamp on the local baseball community. And I do know now you've got the oldest league in the country also plays at Cardines Field, the Sunset League. How do you work with the Sunset League? Does your scheduling come first, and then the Sunset League kind of mills in?
We work hand in hand. I mean, it's pretty well-oiled machine at this point. They got it dialed down to a science long before I got involved with the team. But simply put, we play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the rest of the weekends are all all the Sunset League or Legion or Babe Ruth, because also, the Sunset League is, amateur baseball. It's all, 18 plus kids in college, guys who are post-college, who are still playing ball. So many of which are working, have jobs, 9 to 5. So, we're playing on Saturday, Sunday is great for them. Tuesday, Thursday is also available. So, we work very symbiotically with them, and are really appreciative for the city of Newport, because those are the owners of Cardines Field, and without them, Corey Gateman and Eric Reese, the recreation director, putting the schedule together, you wouldn't be able to do it. So, really hats off to those guys. Thanks to those guys, and also thanks to the Sunset League that, we work so well. Chris LaRose does an amazing job as the commissioner of that league, running it, to a T. It's very well run and well put together, and, we're able to partner together.
Oh, that's great. Great partnership. And one of my last questions for you, Mike, Cardinals Field itself, it's like we mentioned earlier, older than Fenway Park. It's host a Negro League professional players coming through in its past and rich and storied history. The park, it's a comfortable park, but it's got that old time feel. How do you are there renovations planned? What's a typical upkeep on the field to keep the charm but continue to make it comfortable?
Yeah, no, again, I mean, that's the city of Newport does a tremendous job, maintaining it each and every year. They do what they can for sure. Again, Scott Wheeler, Mayor Sai, the city council there are great supporters of that facility and whatever resources that they have available. They're always looking to make some I wouldn't say renovations, but preservation.
Sure.
Is the key there. Fixing boards and painting and maintaining that old time feeling down at the ballpark and making sure that it's safe for folks to come and watch ball games from. And there's nothing major planned, but we're always working together and hoping to keep this ballpark going for years to come and for generations so they can play and experience baseball there.
No, great stuff. I appreciate it. Pat, do you have any other questions for Mike?
No, that's you've covered a lot, Mike. Thanks.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us today. I didn't even get into the dimensions of Cardinals Field. We can talk about that later. Some of the craziest dimensions you'll see at a field, giving it the old time feel. For sure. Yeah. But so Mike Falcone and Newport Gulls of the New England Collegiate Baseball League, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to have you again, maybe come playoff time. We'll have you on again in a month or so.
That would be tremendous, guys. Thank you so much. You guys do a good job.
All right, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Enjoy your weekend.
You too. Have a good day.
All right.
Bye. And that was Mike Falcone of the Newport Gulls of the New England Collegiate Baseball League. And Pat, I don't have the dimensions in front of me. Going off of memory, the fence down the left field, your typical, it's probably about a 20-foot fence. It's about 315 feet away. In straightaway center, you got a slightly taller fence. It's about 350 feet away. You go down the right field corner, it cuts out like a triangle, but like a straight cut, like right angle turn, and it goes down to 390. You got this pub, the Mudville pub that's used. It's right on the right field foul line. I mean, the dimensions are just some of the craziest. And both teams share dugouts on the same side on the first base line, and both teams share the same bullpen.
Yeah, that's certainly unique.
It's very unique. The stadium built in 1912, Cardinals Field in Newport. If you get a chance, affordable entertainment, $5 a game. The kids were, I think you said, were $1 under the age of 12. Yep. Have your chance to go see it. We are up against a commercial break right now. When Pat and I come back on Kevin's Sports Show, we'd like to break down last night's Red Sox game if we have time. We've got Celtics news, we've got Bruins news, and even if you're interested, we've got some U.S. soccer news. So stay with us right after this on Kevin's Sports Show on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and NewSocketRadio.com. We'll be back right after this.
ON 1240.
Featuring traditional dishes from Mexico to your table is Bandito's Mexican Restaurant, 2120 Diamond Hill Road in Woonsocket. Bandito's Mexican Restaurant is your go-to place for tacos, burritos, tequila, margaritas, and more. So today, when you're wondering where to get the best Mexican food in Woonsocket, remember Bandito's Mexican Restaurant. Bandito's, with locations on Broad Street in Cumberland, Park Street in Attleboro, and soon in Pawtucket, is open daily at 12 in Woonsocket.
Youth leagues and high schools, it's trophy and award season. And when you need to crown your champions and award your MVP, B&M Printing Trophies and Signs is where you should turn. B&M Printing, trophies and signs in business since 1982. Owner Carmel Therian offers much more than trophies. They're experts in banners, yard signs, flags, and they'll handle all your printing needs as well. Open Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 5:30. B&M has pickup and delivery service available. To see everything that B&M Printing, trophies and signs has to offer, go to bmprintingweb.com or stop by 1300 Menden Road in Cumberland across from the historic St. Joseph's Church.
State Line Service and Tire Center is a full-service vehicle maintenance and repair center, including computerized engine analysis, wheel alignment, emission testing, exhaust, and more. Their ASE-certified technicians use only quality parts to maintain your manufacturer's warranty. Regular maintenance is important. Remember to check your tires for pressure and wear. If you need tires, State Line will shop for you to get the best possible price, and they welcome any questions you may have about maintaining your vehicle. State Line Service and Tire Center at 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket at the City Line. 765-0146.
This ON AM and FM forecast sponsored by Travel Advisors International, 500 Menden Road in Berkeley Commons in Cumberland. Same phone number they've had for 30 years, 7251234. Experienced, trusted travel professionals on the web at www.taitrips.com.
Cloudy skies today with a high of 81 degrees, a breeze from the south, and a 40% chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Tonight, cloudy skies, overnight low of 71 and a breeze from the south. Up to a half an inch of rain is possible overnight. Sunday's weather partly sunny, high of 89. Monday, sunshine and 92. Tuesday, patchy fog in the early morning, otherwise a sunny day with a high around 90 degrees Tuesday. On Wednesday, partly sunny and 86. Thursday, partly sunny and 83. And next Friday, partly sunny skies, high of 83.
And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have 74.8 degrees on yet another cloudy, drizzly, rainy Saturday. We haven't had too many good days on Saturday this year. Welcome back to Kevin's Sports Show. I am joined by Pat Holland. And once again, thank you to Mike Falcone of the New England Collegiate Baseball League's Newport Gulls. Fantastic interview. Again, if you love baseball and just have a chance to go down there, check out their website, New England, NewportGulls.com. Google it. Great entertainment. Pat, what do you think of Mike's take on some of those issues?
Yeah, it's good just to find. I mean, I've known about that league for quite some time, but not really understanding like where it falls. And obviously you hear about the Cape Cod League. It's a little bit more known, but to find out how it falls in comparison to that, and then just to see, it all makes sense as you're looking at their roster. They do pull from all over the country, which is fantastic, and you can see that it is mostly freshmen, sophomores from the Power Five, and some local kids, but most of the local kids are older, right. Junior, senior. So, yeah, I mean, how can you not go down and take in the game for that price?
Taking the game, take the ferry, go there, spend the day in Newport. 6:30 game, over by 9 o'clock. You'll be home by 10:30. So take a chance on the Newport Collegiate Baseball League. So again, welcome back. If you have not watching the Boston Red Sox, we mentioned this briefly last week. Celtics are done. Bruins are done. Patriots don't start training camp for another month. Tune in to this Boston Red Sox team. Last night, if you're just tuning in, and thank you if you are tuning in, much appreciated. 3-2, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Yoshida's up with a runner on second base, a pinch hitter. Dominic Smith pinch hit for Romy Gonzalez, who had provided the only offense earlier in the game, and Yoshida bombs a 2-run home run to tie the game up. I was watching the game with my son, my wife, and we're both, wow.
Yeah, 3-2, 2 out to come back. I mean, obviously there was a rain delay. Hoke was pitching great. Coming into the rain delay, coming out of the rain delay, he certainly lost a lot of his location. They had some defensive struggles in one inning. But
Yes, could not turn the double play, and that's what I thought we might be talking about today if they had lost.
Right, and then you go into extra innings, and Rafaela comes up and hits a 2-run bomb to straightaway center field
in the 10th inning.
To go up 5-3, and they go on to win it. Again, the Yankees are struggling, right? They've lost 14 out of the last 18. So maybe this is the time to get to them. But it's the Sox are keeping it interesting.
Yeah,
they're fun to watch.
That's for sure. They are fun to watch. You saw Jarren Duran in extra innings. I'm sorry, I believe in the 8th and 9th inning with a hustle double down the left field line. He looked like he wanted to turn for third because the throw was offline. He wanted a triple out of that, and I forgot the exact stat, but I think Duran is the first one or maybe second one ever. He's got 20 steals, 10 home runs. Runs scored, RBI. He's in a league all of his own with all the numbers that he's putting up this year.
And their bats were struggling. In coming out of the Marlins series, that last Marlins game, I mean, they used all their pitchers. They had five or six guys deep in the bullpen. So I think they were hoping to get a lot more out of Hulk last night. They didn't, and they had to piece it together again. And the bullpen was fantastic.
Unbelievable bullpen. Really quick, back to the 9th inning. Romy Gonzalez had provided the only offense in the game for the Red Sox with a home run back in the 4th or 5th inning, giving them their only run. They pinch hit for him with Dominic Smith, who, Pat, I think I told you about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I didn't know who he was.
Right.
He's light hitting, about 213, 215 hitter on the team. He takes a high sweeping pitch and deposits a 2-out single, to center field. They give him second base before Yoshida's 2-run home run. And then, as Rafael Cedon hits a 2-run home run, scoring David Hamilton in the 10th. But here's, talking to you prior to the show, on the post-game show and other sports talk shows, the job that Kenley Jansen did in the 10th inning, they put on the Cohasset native on second base.
Rice.
Rice. And they have to face Juan Soto, who's hitting over 3. They're facing Aaron Judge, who's in the Triple Crown hunt, and Alex Verdugo. And Soto crushes a couple foul balls before lacing a single to right field. First and third, nobody out. Aaron Judge at the plate, and he hits a pop-up to Devers, makes a nice catch in foul territory, no tag.
A high pop-up. That was
mile high. I mean, maybe 2 miles high. That thing took forever.
And that runner from second should have scored probably on that single and didn't because he stopped and for whatever reason started heading back to second.
Yeah.
I initially thought maybe he thought he caught the ball, so
right.
he was, but regardless, that run didn't matter anyway.
If you have any thoughts on the Red Sox game, feel free to call 401-766-1240, 766-1240. But to Pat's point, the runner on second breaks for third, stops right before the third base bag, starts to break back towards second. But even if he did catch it, there was no way he was going to get back to second. I don't know where he was going. Stops at third, first and third, and then after Judge pops it up. Verdugo, same thing. Mile-high pop-up on the infield, right next to the pitcher's mound at first base. Caught for 2 outs. And then Dominic Smith, playing first base, gets the final hitter, Cabrera, to hit a rocket down the first base line, catches it on the base. Game over. Red Sox, game and a half in front of the Royals for the final wild card spot. 7.5 behind the Orioles. Only 4.5 behind the Yankees, but 3 in the loss column. I mean, Are they for real?
I mean, they're making it interesting, right? I wouldn't say they're for real. I mean, they're competitive. Every game. I mean, obviously today they got Winchowski going up against Cole. Cole hasn't had a great year. I mean, he's just getting back, right?
6.23 ERA.
6.23 ERA. Winchowski's at a 2.80. So, who knows what'll happen today? But I mean, just going back to June 1st. I mean, the Red Sox are 19-10 since June 1st. The Yankees are 14-17. So again, it's early. Again, like I said last week, I typically don't start getting invested until after the All-Star break. But it's certainly they had me watching last night.
Right.
That's for sure.
And we are in the second half of the season now. Yes, we're not at the All-Star break. The Yankees, and if you were watching closely last night, and I wasn't, my son had to tell me, the Yankees cost themselves a run on first and third. There was a ground ball to first that the Yankees hit. Red Sox stepped on first base to get the second out, threw down the second, which is now a tag play. Right. Player gets caught in a rundown. The runner on third.
Jogging home. And even if, and I want to say that was Juan Soto on first, even if he slows down and heads back.
Right. Yeah, should have gotten to a rundown.
Yeah,
what I should have said. Yeah.
To force that, if that run scores before he gets tagged out, then it counts.
And if the runner on third was hustling,
you teach that at the small diamond level, right?
Absolutely. No, it's the hustle has to be there. So if you watched last night's game, please feel free to give us a call, 766-1240 here on ON Sports. I'm joined by Patrick Holland, who may not be with us next week, but will be here the week after and moving forward from there as well. We're up against our third and final break. When we come back, we'll have a little bit more on the Red Sox baseball, but we also want to touch on Bruins, Celtics, and maybe whatever you want to talk about. So feel free to give us a call, 401-766-1240 on ON Radio 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and OneSocketRadio.com.
ON 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models, as well as used cars, trucks, and SUVs, can be found at Tasca Buick GMC in Woonsocket. The Buick Encore GX is a sporty SUV that strikes a distinctively athletic tone. The Envision has a suite of 6 advanced safety and driver assistance technologies that come standard. The GMC Sierra 1500, Acadia, and Terrain trucks are on the lot now at Tasca Buick GMC. Visit TascaBuickGMC.com to see their entire inventory of new and used cars. Tasca Buick GMC, Fortin Drive, Woonsocket, is open 7 days a week. Welcome to summer, and John Moran of A.J. Moran Incorporated says now is the time to get those projects done that you've been putting off. Masonry, patios, walkways, hardscape, and landscape. A.J. Moran will work with you to create the design that you want. Your web destination to contact A.J. Moran Incorporated is ajmoraninc.com or search A.J. Moran Incorporated on Facebook. A.J. Moran Incorporated has been servicing Massachusetts and Rhode Island for more than 30 years. Contact John Moran at 781-267-6827, 781-267-6827. A.J. Moran Incorporated.
A new garage door can have a major effect on the appearance of your property. When you're ready, call Andy Bebo at Woonsocket Door Sales, in business since 1935. Woonsocket Door Sales installs and repairs all makes of doors and openers, as well as broken springs and cables. Service includes installation and free disposal of the old door. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448. Office located at 1 Biltmore Avenue, Cumberland. Reputation is important.
If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
And Michael's Meats has Northwest Sweet Bing Cherries for $2.77 a pound at Michael's Meats. And welcome back to Kevin's Sports Show here on ON Radio. I'm joined by Pat Holland. Pat, we do have a call. Let's see who is on the line. Hello, who am I talking to?
Good morning, Kevin. It's Moose Man.
Good morning, Moose. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Moose, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, bud. That's right. How about those Red Sox? Yes,
Right.
sir. Yes, indeed. Of course, as you mentioned, it's still early, but what a heck of a win that was last night. My goodness.
I was getting ready to talk about the poor defense not turning the double play in the 5th inning as the reason why they lost, and completely changed the narrative this morning, Moose.
I know it. That pop-up that Judge hit in the bottom of the 10th, that's still up there, you know that.
Right. Yeah. It hasn't landed.
My goodness.
That's the highest pop-up I've ever seen.
Oh, incredible. But I, just to sway away from the Red Sox for a moment, when I called you last week, I wanted to talk about the NBA briefly.
Sure.
And, look, I'm on being with the Celtics in the 18th championship and all of that. That's great. However, to me, in the last 10 or 15 years, the league has soured. And it's mostly attributed to the so-called king, LeBron James, with his ranting and his complaining and upsetting tactics of the ref on and off the court, and the criticism of the NBA itself. I mean, it has insulted not only the game, Kevin, on the court, but the integrity of the game as well.
No, it's an interesting point. It's I came of age with the late '70s. The Larry Bird. Larry Bird. I was 9 years old when Bird entered the league, and my older brothers were complaining then in the early '80s about how they didn't dribble a ball like Jerry West and Bob Cousy did. And so I used to roll my eyes at that because we've moved on to, Jordan and Magic and Bird and all those guys. And I am with you. I'm not a big LeBron James fan at all.
Oh,
but the game continues to evolve in a way that's just different than the way we grew up. And it's taken me a while to adjust.
Just to continue on
Sure.
him for a moment, he's kind of poisoned the NBA and following the Pied Piper, NBA players are infected. It's incredible, I think, how many T's should be called in each and every game. They're up and down the court complaining all the time. And this has taken away the luster and joy of being champions or whatever. LeBron is like the Hitler of the NBA.
I don't know if I call him Hitler, but go ahead, Pat, you were going to say something?
And now, he's upsetting the entire L.A. Laker organization with his signing and his limitations, so to speak, of his 2-year contract. And you know that he had big... They drafted his son 55th, Ken,
yes.
in the second round. 55th. You know that's all LeBron.
Well, I'm convinced, and I have no way of proving this, the reason why Dan Hurley from UConn did not take the job is because LeBron runs the show out there, and they're going to draft his son. And J.J. Redick, the new coach of the Lakers, is friends with LeBron. I think they've had a podcast or something out there. And I think, it's LeBron's show. I think Hurley wants to coach.
You hit the nail on the head. There's no doubt. So now, the evil king, is he ready to hand down to his predecessor, his son? If he is, help us all.
It's going to be interesting because the Lakers didn't even make the playoffs last year. So
and they're certainly not going to make the playoffs this year. I mean, they haven't gotten any better.
I can't watch it anymore. I can't watch the NBA. I can't because it's all on the NBA commissioner, Kevin, and the referees. They should get together and really clamp down on these players. They have no control of it.
No, it's an interesting take. I mean, my kids get sick of me calling traveling all the time when I'm watching a game. Pat, you're a little bit younger than me. What are your thoughts on the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, like you, I mean, everything evolves, right? It is what it is. But as we were going to talk a little bit sooner than we were now, but I mean, the salary that these guys are getting paid is off the charts. So they are all basically spoiled kids.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them. I mean,
$314 million?
Yeah, I mean,
Jason Tatum?
and that's the league. The league has pushed that. I mean, it's not the players, but I mean, you look at these guys making $62 million, and you see, these top-end athletes in the NHL making 10 to 12.
At top, if that.
I mean,
some of them 7 or 8.
The elite players are making $12 million. Where these guys...
I wanted to share this with you, too, guys. Excuse me.
Go.
This is from last week, a column that I read in the Providence Journal. And it's probably one of the quotes of the week. Ramondre Stevenson, running back, they asked him about his contract. And the first thing that he's going to buy after signing his 4-year, $36 million contract, quote, I've always heard about this 4-ply toilet paper. I'm going to find out what that's all about tomorrow morning, end quote.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you
Exactly.
going to do with your $36 million? Going to buy some toilet paper, man.
No, it's incredible. It's just the differences in the league. Moose, I do have another caller on the line.
sir.
So thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. And let's take our next call.
Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.
All right, bye, Moose.
Thanks, Moose.
Hello, who's on the air with us?
Hey, it's Greg from Connecticut.
Hey, Greg from Connecticut. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? Love the show. Enjoyed the interview with Mike Falcone. Learned all about 4-ply toilet paper.
Yeah. So Greg, say hi to Pat Holland, who's joining us here in the studio.
Hey, Pat. How are you?
Hey, Greg. How are you?
So
Love the show. Love the range of sports you guys cover. Pro, college, minor league, high school, local. It's great.
Oh, we're all over the place. We didn't even get to our local Woonsocket Star yet this week. So, for those that may not know, this is a college roommate of mine, Greg McLaughlin. Are you wrestling anywhere this weekend, Greg?
Not this weekend. Got a hurt neck, so I'm going to hold off for a couple weeks.
Hurt neck. You don't get hurt.
I know. I'm made of rubber, but I got hurt last weekend.
Oh, okay. So, Greg, are you still a Jets fan, if I remember correctly?
I am a Jets fan, yes. I am, unfortunately.
And Greg was also a Hartford Whaler fan as well.
Caps
Love
off
the
to
Whalers.
There you go. Caps off to you on that one.
It ruined hockey for me because now they're gone and I can't adopt another team. You can't switch. I'm like, oh, now I'm a Bruins.
Well, you got the Hartford Wolfpack for your, for the AHL, and I guess you could have followed the Hurricanes down to the Carolinas.
Could have, too far away. Couldn't get them on TV.
How's everything else going, Greg? Okay.
That's going great. I was going to stump you with a wrestling question.
Okay, go ahead.
Haven't heard a wrestling question, but actually it's one that I think you'll answer pretty effectively. Gable Stevenson, beast of a man, NCAA wrestling champion, heavyweight. What do you think the odds are he's even on the team at the start of the Bills season?
What are the odds that he would be on
The Bills, Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills wrestler? I mean, the Patriots have taken chances on some wrestlers and rugby players in the past. Typically, the good footwork. I'm going to go with he's on the Bills. Probably an offensive lineman. You say he was the heavyweight champion?
Yeah.
Defensive tackle. They haven't slotted as defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle, probably good footwork. I say he's got a real good chance. If they take him out of wrestling and they put him on the Bills, I say that he's got a real good chance of making it. As you know, the footwork, the technique, if he can perfect that from the wrestling mat to footwork on the football field as a defensive tackle, being able to get around offensive linemen, he's obviously got the strength. I think there's a real good chance. They obviously must have saw something in him. Patriots have drafted Nate Ebner from rugby in the past. They have brought in a wrestler. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but I think he's got a real good chance, Greg, of making the Bills.
Interesting. I'll give you 2 more questions in the 2 minutes you have left.
Okay.
And one of them, as you called out Jets, I'm a Jets fan. Odds Aaron Rodgers is on the field at the end of the Jets season.
Is Aaron Rodgers on the field at the end of which game? At the end of the season?
End of the Jets season this year.
At the end of the Jets season? No. I think he gets hurt again.
He gets hurt again?
What about you, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, I could see him getting injured again. I don't think he's the type of guy like a Brady that takes care of himself to that extent that Tom Brady did towards the tail end of his season. So, and then I don't know how much they've really established their offensive line. I mean, that's their big issue is protecting him. So, I mean, obviously they can protect him, then maybe, yeah, he stays healthy. But if they can't and he has to move, I don't see him finishing.
And he's not nearly as mobile as he was when he was younger, which he wasn't that mobile to begin with. And now with him being older, Greg, with his injuries, it all comes down to the offensive line. If they can protect for him, great. But if not, look out.
Not to mention if they're 6-10 at the end of the season, they decide not to play him anyway.
Right. And
one more for you, close out your show. And this one's more in your camp. Odds that Bill Belichick is on the sidelines for someone next season.
I'm going to go with Pat just said 0. I agree with Pat, 0. I think he goes up to the broadcast booth. I think there's a better chance that he's in a camp next year if he wants to go for Shula's record. This year, I think right now he's like, you know what? I don't have to get ready for camp right now. I think somebody hires him, pays him a boatload of money. Has he been hired by any network? Do you know, Pat?
I believe he is.
Is he? So
I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure
out there because I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he is scheduled to be in somewhere.
And he's done some good studio work in the past, Greg, when the Pats have been eliminated in the playoffs, and people really like him because he actually starts opening up and talking. Unlike when he's been a coach. So it's I don't think he's on the sideline this year. I think it's too late for him to put his hands on a team, so to speak. And I think I do think somebody hires him next year.
I agree. Next year. Totally.
All right. Well, Greg, hey, we're up against the clock. Thank you so much for calling, Greg. Really appreciate it. Anytime. We'll be talking more Celtics and Bruins next week as well as Red Sox, so feel free to join in and bring some more trivia our way. That'll be great.
Will do.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
All right. Thanks, Greg. And yes, Pat, go ahead.
Two quick things.
Yes.
New England Revolution tonight. They play out in Seattle at 10:30.
Winners of 6 of their last 7. New England Revolution.
And then congratulations, Rhode Island FC. They did tie last night. They played a home game at Bryant College, and they have currently a 4-game unbeaten streak.
And finally, locally, we've been following the story all summer. Adelaide Karen, the Woonsocket High School senior, won first place up at the Fitchburg State last week, and junior Olympic trials with a 50.77 meter throw, beating the number 2 person who had a 50.38 meter throw. Just for those of you that want to do the math, that translates to about 168 feet. So congratulations to Adelaide Karen. And then locally, congratulations to Attleboro's own Zuri Ferguson for making the Trinidad and Tobago swim Olympic team. She will be a senior next year at Attleboro High School. She will be competing in the Paris Olympics. That's going to do it for Kevin's Sports Show. I'd like to thank Mike Falcone from the New England Collegiate Baseball League. I'd like to thank our callers, Moose and Greg for calling in the second half of the show. For Pat Holland, I'm Kevin Callahan. Thank you for listening to Kevin's Sports Show here on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and OneSocketRadio.com. We'll see you next week.
Broadcasting live at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio.
NBC News Radio, I'm Rob Martier. Donald Trump is trying to distance himself from a conservative think tank's plan for the next GOP presidency. Trump on his Truth social media platform said on Friday he knows nothing about Project